Here is a requested tutorial from my group on how to cut this stylish halter neck corset blouse with deep asymmetric neckline and also an asymmetric hemline. Now to start, you need to mark out your basic measurement. Here is my starting line. Here is my shoulder to bust, my shoulder to underbust, my shoulder to waist, and the blouse length. Now this is not my actual body measurement. I'm doing this pattern in form of an illustration. Now the first step you need to take is to mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Now you're going to come down by 1 inch. Mark your basic neckline of 3 inches. After you're done marking that, you're going to connect this at this point. Now after marking that, you're going to find your chest line. And to get your chest line is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Whatever measurement you have at that point, you're going to place your ruler to draw out a straight line. Now after marking this, place back your tape and mark your shoulder divided by 2. Now connect this all the way to the upper part. The next step is to go ahead to divide my armhole into 2 equal parts. Place your tape, fold it into 2 and mark. Come out by ½ inch. Place your tape and mark your bust circumference divided by 4. Connect this to this point and also connect to the other side. Now after you're done connecting at this point, you're going to mark your dart intake. You will start by marking your nipple to nipple divided by 2. You're going to mark this all the way from the upper part to the blouse length. Now place your ruler and draw out a straight line. I will mark the midpoint of my armhole and I will connect it to my bust point. After connecting at that point, the next step I'll take is to go ahead to mark my dart intake. Mark ½ inch here, 1.5 here. For a plus size, you mark 1 inch here and 2 inches on the other side. Now you're going to replace all these measurements down to your blouse length. The next step you're going to take is to place your ruler and you're going to connect this all the way up and to the other side. Now place your curved drew and you're going to connect from the bust all the way to the underbust. Also repeat this at the other side of your pattern also and go ahead to connect. Now you want to go ahead to mark your dart intake of ½ inch on both sides here. Blend into the dart lines. Now measure this ½ inch here, replace it by giving you 1 inch, ½ inch will give you 1 inch. Blend it into your armhole. Now mark your bust measurement divided by 4. Measure the dart intake, replace and add your sewing allowance. Your underbust measurement divided by 4. Measure the dart intake, replace it and add your sewing allowance. You just need ½ inch for sewing allowance. Mark your waist measurement divided by 4. Measure the dart intake, replace and add your sewing allowance. Here you want to mark your hip measurement divided by 4. Measure the dart intake, replace and add your sewing allowance. Now you're going to connect from the bust to the underbust all the way to the waistline, and from the waistline you're going to connect to your blouse length. Now let's go ahead to alter this pattern to get the design. My neckline, I'll start going down. So I'll go ahead to connect from here. Then I'm trying to recreate the neckline I have there. So for this type of neckline, you don't just have to draw out. You have to follow what you have. Determine where you want the neckline to start towards this, after the chest line area. Now come in by ½ inch here on the chest line and mark. Then from here I'll connect, then go in by this side by 1.5, then come out again to give that slight curve. After that I'll go in and make sure that it goes in slightly above waistline, and from there I'll draw out a little V. So this is what I have here, and now you're going to add an extension. For a basic neckline at the back, you have about 3.5 to 4 inches for to measure your neckline. So I'll do the same. From here you come out by 2.5 or 3 inches and extend. Now I'll connect it at the upper part. Here you have to blend in your dart before you connect this side. Now after connecting, I'll come out a bit by ½ inch for the lower part, because when you're joining your princess dart, the side tends to be smaller or shorter. So what I'll do is to go ahead to use my marker and I'll outline this pattern. So after outlining the pattern, I'll also outline the other side. On the side of your blouse, you want to come down by 3.5 to 4 inches. Now I'll connect, drawing out an asymmetric hemline, and I'll connect to this point, blend in my dart. I'll do an extension of 2 inches, giving me about 7 inches after my waistline for the center point. Now I'll mark my bust dart. To get your bust dart is the difference between your shoulder to waist in front and your shoulder to waist at the back. Then I'll go ahead to cut out. Here's my center front and here's my side front, and I'll go ahead to cut this out. So if you have any questions so far, please kindly go ahead to ask. I'll go ahead to cut out this part. Now this part, you'll be replacing it with your corset mesh. Then you just attach it to the center of your pattern. And I'll also cut out this side. While cutting out the side of your pattern, you also want to make sure that you blend out your bust dart to make sure that your pattern matches very well. So this is what I have, and I'll go ahead to cut out. So let's draft the back pattern. For the back pattern, I've gone ahead to mark my basic pattern, which is the shoulder to bust waistline. Then I added 5 inches after my waistline. Remember, the shoulder to waist in front and that of the back is not the same. Please go ahead to measure your waistline. So I'll start by marking my dart, which is my nipple to nipple divided by 2, and I'll place my ruler to draw a straight line. Now after I'm done marking that, what I'll do is to go ahead to mark my dart intake of 1/2 inch on both sides. I want to blend out my dart, so I'll just extend what I have at the waistline all the way down. Then I'll go ahead to connect and also connect at the other side. Come down by 1 inch here, connect, and also connect at this side. Now this is what I have here, right? After I'm done connecting at this side, start inserting my measurement. I'll mark the bust measurement divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Mark the waist measurement divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace and add my sewing allowance. Mark my hip measurement divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace and add my sewing allowance. So I'll connect from the bust area to the waist and from the waist to the blouse length. So after I'm done marking that, I'll come down by 3.5 inches and I will connect. So if you want to still have an asymmetric hemline for the back, you can do that, but I'll be leaving it this way. Next step you want to take is to mark your lacing area. You can use 1.5 to 2 inches. Now I'll place my ruler to connect. After that, I'll just make a dot to indicate I have a lacing there. Now, to avoid your zipper from popping up at the back, your lacing to pop up, go down by 1/2 inch and connect to the chest line. And this is what we have for the back pattern. Now, what I'm going to do is just to go ahead to cut this out. And I will go ahead to cut out. So for this pattern, you can decide to blend out your dart, or you can just sew up your dart or cut out your back pattern into 2 pieces, right? It's left for you because I didn't really see the back pattern, so I'll just go ahead to blend it out and I have 1 piece.